Lecture 18 mainly focusing the inverse is a transform methods. Okay, how we can calculate the inverse is a transform. Up to lecture 18 we discuss how we can find out the is a transform. Now we will discuss how we can find the inverse. There are different methods to find out the inverse is a transform. One is by using the general formula, that is x of n is given by 1 by 2 pi j integral over the closed surface C x of z into z raised to n minus 1 into dz. But this method normally we will not use because we need a strong understanding of about the complex integration. Okay, so we will use some other easy method in this lecture. And another method is power series expansion. Okay, first we will discuss the power series expansion. Another one is use of tables. Okay, we will use the standard result to find the inverse transform pairs. Okay, we will use in standard is a transform equations. Okay, and the last one is a partial fraction method. Mainly we will use this partial fraction method to solve the problem. So this is very important. Okay, for exam point of view we need to study this partial fraction method, and in order to use partial fraction method we need some understanding of this standard result. Okay, now we'll start with first we will start with this power series expansion, how we can use this power series expansion method. Okay, so this is the general equation to find the z transform. X of z is equal to sigma n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z raised to minus n, and if you expand this summation, and we need to substitute the values of n, and we need to start from minus infinity onwards, and after writing this you will get a term x of minus 2. When n is equal to minus 2, it becomes x of minus 2 into z square, because here it is minus n. So if you substitute minus 2, it becomes z square. X of minus 1 into z raised to 1, x of 0 into z raised to 0, that is 1, means this is a constant term. I can say that this is a constant term. Okay, this is a constant term, and remaining term x of 1, n is equal to 1, n is raised to minus 1, x of 2 is raised to minus 2, etc. Okay, and this method is useful when the signal is a finite sequence. For infinite sequence also we can use this particular method, but it's very useful when it is a finite sequence. Another important point, is very difficult to write the final answer in a closed form. Means something like x of n is equal to some relation of n is very difficult. Okay, normally we'll get a series, so that's a one main problem of this particular method. So another problem related to this, when the z transform is given as a rational function, means numerator divided by denominator, power series expansion can be obtained by long division. So first we need to perform long division, then we can compare the coefficient. So we will write the z transform in the series form, and we will compare with the basic equation, and we will compare the coefficient. If there is a term z square, and in the expanded sequence also there is a term z square, and we will compare the coefficient. So like that we can do, and we will see one problem. Okay, so here you can see a question. Here we need to find the inverse z transform of the signal x of z. Okay, we need to find out the inverse z transform by using power series method. Okay, means we need to expand the given equation, and we need to compare. So here x of z is given z square into 1 minus 1 by 2 into z raised to minus 1 into 1 minus z raised to minus 1 into 1 plus 2 z raised to minus 1. So first we need to expand this equation. So if you write that particular equation, you can write x of z is equal to, okay, you can multiply this z first. So you can take this z into this bracket. So you can write z square minus 1 by 2 into z. Okay, we got one term. Okay, Now we can multiply these two terms. Okay, so if you multiply these two terms, you can write 1 plus 2 z raised to minus 1, and if you multiply with the second term, it becomes minus z raised to minus 1 minus 2 z raised to minus 2. So now we got again two terms. Again we can multiply this. So if you multiply it with z square, it becomes z square plus z minus 2 z raised to 0. Z raised to 0 means it's 1, then minus 1 by 2 z minus 1 by 2 z raised to 0 plus z raised to minus 1. Okay, actually I skip one portion. I can simplify this also. Okay, when you simplify this, it becomes simply z raised to minus 1. Okay, 2 z raised to minus 1 minus z 1. You can simplify this, and I got this equation. Now again I can simplify this. So after simplification, you can write z square, and there is only one z term, so sorry, two z terms, so here also one z term and here also one. So I can write it becomes plus 1 by 2 z minus 5 by 2, because z0 is 1 and here also z0 is 1, so I'll get 5 by 2 plus z raised to minus 1. So we got x of z. Now I can compare the x of z expansion and the given x of z. So you can compare here. There is a term z square. Okay, here is one term z square. So when n is equal to, okay, here you can see that this n is equal to minus 2, so the corresponding coefficient is x of minus 2. So I can write x of minus 2 is equal to 1, and similarly if you compare this next term, x of minus 1, okay, x of minus 1 becomes 1 by 2. Okay, here the term, and there is a constant term. This is constant term, is raised to 0 is 1, so x of 0 is, here I can say it's minus 5 by 2, so x of 0 is minus 5 by 2, and next term is x of 1. Okay, when there is z raised to minus 1, it's correspond to x of 1, so this term correspond to x of 1, so the coefficient is 1. So I can write this x of n like this, 1 by 2 minus 5 by 2 1, and you can see that the 0 corresponds to minus 5 by 2, so I can indicate like this. So this is the method known as power series expansion. Okay.